Hi, friends and fellow Earth Angels. It's Gladys, and welcome back to another one of my Pick a Card readings. And this Pick a Card came as a suggestion from a subscriber. And the suggestion was doing a Pick a Card reading on what path did the cosmos or the divine or the universe want you to follow. Life purpose, spiritual journey questions come up often in the work that I do. And I find that when we fall into our calling, or when we're awakened to purpose and passion, igniting that fire within, there's a calling to create. There's a calling to put our energy out into the world. And there's a lot of Earth Angels now awakening, and that was the reason why I started this channel, was to educate, to inspire, to comfort, teach, and support, to bring a community of people together who feel ultimately isolated in their world because they feel like the black sheep or the loner, nobody understands them. So, with regards to my life purpose and my spiritual journey, I fell into it and I found my way. Going through a dark night of the soul. I was really struggling with my career at the time, and I was a paralegal working in a law firm, doing real estate, and it was so far from who I was and what I wanted to do, but I was driven by a paycheck and financial security, or the illusion of the 3D financial security. And it's through that course and through those challenges that I went to an intuitive and a reader, and it just really opened up another whole world to me. And so, I believe in that moment, God chose me for a reason, and that's why I'm here. So I pray that through this Pick a Card, you'll be guided to answers that your soul is seeking. So I have a collection of cards here that I'm going to use for you, and I'm going to start with pulling the themes from the Life Purpose Oracle cards, and then I'm going to get additional information from Sufi Wisdom. And then I'm going to use the Past Life deck as to what of your past life might be influencing you in this life. And then I'm going to tap into the collective, the energy of your soul, and ask the lesson cards to give you information that can also assist you. I'm going to tap into the abundance because, the new way of making money is creating. We're living, I want to say we're living retired, but we're living life differently. A lot of Earth Angels aren't living life for retirement. We're seeking the ultimate freedom on this journey through our work, being able to create in the world and being able to inspire people from it, which ultimately allows freedom. I say I work all the time, but for me, it's not work. I love what I do. So it's inspired action. So we'll tap into the abundance energy as well to see what the cards have to offer you. And then I'm going to use the Nature's Whispers for any clarifiers. So any messages that come out that I need deeper information on, or I need to clarify, I'm going to use Nature's Whispers. So let me put these aside. Open space, inviting in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, God, source, creator of the universe, and all his holy beings of light that would like to assist. I also want to invite in the Archangel Michael. He is the guardian of light. He oversees our journey. He's our protector. So I want to invite him into the session for assistance. And I'm going to ask that the cards that come through, or the messages that come through, be for your best and highest good, and the best and highest good of all concerned. Okay, so let's see here. Life purpose. What? I need 3 cards, 3 themes. Connected to what path does the divine or the cosmos of the universe want you to follow? Okay, let's see. 3 cards here. Wow. Okay, so that's 1. angels. Let's see here. So the first one, talk to your angels. Instead of worrying, ask for divine guidance. Then we have artist. Engaging in artistic activities is beneficial to your career and every other area of your life. And then support. Your life purpose fully supports you. It doesn't really give you much. Let me see here as we think about topics. What path did the cosmos want you to follow? Interesting. So this isn't necessarily, the divine is so interesting. What path do they want you to follow? There's so much in the work that I do of Jesus's teachings. Jesus always answered a question with a question. Sometimes I'm like, just tell me, but it doesn't work out that way. So what path does the universe or the divine want you to follow? Either talk to your angels, artist, create, design, or support. Your life purpose fully supports you. Okay, so let's see. So maybe as you're choosing, it's what you need more of in your life right now. As I mentioned, I was going through a rough time in my life, which eventually led me to take actions that allowed me to fall into my passion, my life's work, my calling. So I feel like the question right now is, what do you need more of in your life? Do you need to talk to your angels more? Do you need to connect more to the divine? Do you need to get into that creative energy, playful, the sacral chakra or the sacral chakra, the orange, creative expression, play, pleasure energy? Or are you feeling unsupported and need more support? So we'll start there. And I'll get into Sufi wisdom. So additional messages. Additional message for talk to your angel pile. Additional message for artist. And additional message for support pile. Okay. And what from your past life is affecting your path today in this moment as you're watching? What from your past life is affecting your path? What for the artist pile? Let's see here. What from your past life could be affecting the artist pile? And what from your past life could be affecting the support pile? Wow, okay. And let's get into soul. What does your soul want you to know about the path they want you to follow? For the talk to your angels pile. And artist, what's your soul want you to know? What lessons, maybe for the artist pile. With regards to what path you want to follow. And then the support pile. The souls of those who chose the support pile. And abundance. What are the cosmos, the universe, and the divine want you to know about your abundance? Those that chose to talk to your angels pile. And what do angels divine want those that chose the artist pile to know about abundance? Okay. And then the support pile. What do angels, divine, cosmos want the support pile to know about abundance? And is that it? Yes. Okay, that's it. Okay. So if you stayed with me up until this point, here we are. Talk to your angels, artist, and support. What does the divine or cosmos, what path does the divine, cosmos, universe want you to follow? Okay. Okay, so those of you who chose pile 1, talk to your angels. Welcome. Instead of worrying, ask for divine guidance. So if you are being challenged on your path right now and life purpose, I feel like the angels are saying, come to us. And in this, it's actually teaching you how to co-create with the universe. So I feel like this message comes to those who may be looking for the 3D world to tell them what they need to do. I'm telling you, the divine is tricky. And so they are saying, come to us. We want you to build a relationship with us. And then from there, you will align with that which is going to assist you on your journey, on your path. So worry creates an energy of, I can't do it on my own, and then I need somebody. It can actually activate codependent energy. And in some of you, again, who may be watching this, sometimes we can fall into like giving our power away and seeking to the external, like I said, readers, external readings. So for somebody to tell us what we should and shouldn't be doing. And then what happens is we can fall into that energy of chasing our tail. So they're saying, come to us directly. There's a lot of readers here on YouTube and there's a lot happening. There are a lot of really great messages that come through, but understanding that we can fall into separation from our own intuition and put our divine path into what somebody else tells us who we are and what we need to do. And it really creates a level of unfulfillment and needing external support. So I feel like that's where the divine is saying, come back, talk to us. And we know we're connected to all your guardian angels and guides so we can assist you. So additional message is life's purpose. Wow, you can't make this up. It says, seek your own deeper vision for life. Again, your own deeper vision of life. I'm feeling like those of you who chose this pile, the universe and your guides want to empower you to intuitively receive downloads and hits and information that's going to support you. Now, I have to say, sometimes you may get guidance to do something that you might be resistant to. You may get guidance to start working on your resume. You may get guidance to take a class, to spend some money that's out of your comfort zone, to seek opportunities and experiences, right, that you may be resistant to. So I ask you here, to be open and receptive to the information, the repetitive information that you're getting. And also I would love for you to be aware of what's scaring you and what feels too much or overwhelming. A lot of it, I feel like self-esteem, worth, and value is coming up. So those of you who are maybe intuitive or you're you want to embark on a path of creating in the world. It could be, I almost feel like they're showing me it's like unorthodox things. So maybe some of you want to get into interior design. Maybe some of you want to get into counseling and spiritual therapy. Maybe some of you want to do more card readings, and that's why you're here, is to really gather some information and be inspired by that. All those come from our own pride, spiritual pride, worth, and value in who we are, and being able to trust our intuition and trust our feelings and emotions. And I feel like that is one of the major things. Here we are. Those of you who are watching this as I post it, we're in Mercury retrograde energy right now. We're getting into the new moon energy, which is like the void, the abyss. So this is a really great time to go within and sit in the shadow, to sit in the void, to sit in the uncomfortable feelings. You know, if you're leaving jobs that you're really just drained and tired from, I believe your divine guides are saying, sit with us, go home and sit with us and talk to us. You know, God really wants us to ask the questions. Why, God? Show me what I'm supposed to be doing. Why does this keep happening? What are my blocks? What am I afraid of? And being able to go to the divine, and in turn, you're guided more towards life purpose. I mean, wow. So, okay, so what from your past lives may be hindering you on your path now? Phobias. Interesting. Again, I love how when I channel and then the card comes out to just reinforce it. What are you afraid of? Some of you may have invested in education to get where you're at. Some of you may have invested time and energy into things. Maybe you started something and you put money into it and energy, and now you're afraid to leave it. A lot of times we have experiences to learn from them. It's not always about the end result. So I really want you to think about or bring to mind what is no longer serving you and what you can release, let go, or accept is finished and complete. And how do you move forward from that? So you could have, again, here we go. We said, instead of worrying, ask for divine guidance. Then we have phobias here. So some of you may have had shock and trauma from past lives. And so it's creating fears in this life. You know, being beheaded, stoned, burned at the stake, banished, cast out. Those are all very common instances in people's past lives, right? Abandonment, loss from plagues and sickness, being alone and isolated. There's a lot of past lives that come up that could actually be affecting us now. You know, maybe you were a creator. Maybe you spoke your truth in other lives. Maybe you were a teacher or a speaker and people didn't understand you and you were persecuted for that. So now there's this fear of speaking up and putting yourself out there. But right now, more than ever, people are feeling the void. People are feeling unfulfilled. They're feeling scared. They're feeling the energy of shift on this planet, but it's going to require you to take some action. It's going to require you to ground your energy and stop creating a step-by-step process to achieve your goals. And the universe is saying, come to us. We will guide you, but you've got to be willing and open to take those steps. You've got to be open to being vulnerable, to being able to share your truth. I'll tell you, friends, when I wanted to open up my practice, I got a lot of pushback because it was on the verge of the economy. It was 2007 going into 2008. And if you remember those times, we were in an economic shutdown. People were losing their homes, their jobs, their cars. I mean, it was just a deep sense of like an identity loss for a lot of people. And the economy was really bad. I think at the time, gas was up to like $4 and $5 a gallon. And so, you know, I got so much resistance, like you're leaving this field and this money for insecurity and instability. But what I didn't realize was after I opened my practice, that's when everything got worse. And that's when people we're struggled and challenging with identity loss. Well, who am I without this job, without this home, without these people? And so that's where it started for me. So I had to push past those phobias of other people as well, and really trust and talk to the angels that this was my mission, that this was what I'm supposed to do. And I have to say, for earth angels on this path, in order to follow the light, in order to follow what God's plan is for you, you're gonna have to do some deep inner work. You're gonna have to work through these fears and these phobias, and to use the divine to assist you to grow and get stronger, because there will be resistance, there will be kickback, there will be, when you are walking in the light, you're an activator of the shadow, right? So you're an embodiment. Sometimes when you meet people, you'll reflect back to them their own fears. And by you achieving and accomplishing and being joyful and excited, it's going to trigger something in them to want to shut you down and push you away. And so you got to work on your self-esteem, worth, and value to be strong in that. So what your soul wants you to know. Loneliness. I can tell you, sometimes when you embark on a journey that people don't understand, it can trigger loneliness. People don't understand you, so they start to pull away. The card says, I know that I'm never alone. Again, the angels are saying, if this is activated, if you're getting fearful and you're worrying, to take that leap of faith, come to us. We will assist you. And know that when you start separating from the 3D world, people like you as you are. People like you because they know you and it's comfortable. So when you start to evolve, when you start to change, when you start to grow, it's time for you to walk a journey with yourself. And I feel like this is where, especially Archangel Michael is saying, you're never walking alone. We're always with you. So before you move forward on your path, before you fall into this purpose, this passion, this fire, you really have to reinforce your relationship and your spiritual connection with the divine, whatever that is for you. Everybody's journey with God and the universe is different. I'm also feeling Jesus's energy here. If you remember, Jesus was a rebel. Jesus was against the rules of the times. He was a rabble rouser. And this is why earth angels love him so much, because he showed up with this force that said, despite what happens in the 3D, I have this calling, I have this message, I have this knowledge and wisdom that I need to share with the people, and it's going to make people unhappy. It's going to make people uncomfortable. So, you're talking about a man who goes off into the desert, 40 days, 40 nights. He had to go in and talk to his guides. He had to talk to God, his father. And, and this is where the phobias and fears come up. So the earth angel's life purpose is not, the human experience isn't an easy one. It's even harder when we have free will and we're making choices that are not in alignment with our higher calling. Of course, the universe is malleable, it's pliable, and it's always adjusting. But the universe is saying, hey, we're always here with you. At some point, Jesus had to leave a village, a town, an experience where he was, and get on the road. A lot of you right now are on a journey to what's next for you. And I have to say, the universe, the high vibrations of unconditional love, the energy on the 7th plane of existence is where Creator resides. That's the energy that I intend to tap into. They're not going to give us a whole story, which again, this is a perfect reason why we can ask, and we have to be open and receptive to the answers that we get. And it may not always be what we want to hear, but it's what we need to know. And I can tell you, if somebody told me, oh gosh, 10 years ago, what I would be up against and what I'd have to go through and what I'd have to experience, I'd be like, oh, heck no, take me out now. I'm done, right? But now that I've gotten through it and I just feel this spiritual strength and accomplishment and achievement. And I'll tell you, friends, as a triple Cancer, my sun, moon, rising in Cancer, my Mercury in Cancer, I am a very dominant water sign, which is very emotional. It's all about feelings. So I am hugely sensitive and I feel everything to the core. I had to learn how to move through that. And of course, now what's beneficial is there's so many people who are awakening to their shadow, to their programs, which you're learning how to access through that, through your own feelings, emotions, right? For masculine energies, your intuition is in your gut, is this gut feeling in your mind. I admire the masculine's ability to mentalize and think. Like, I really admire the thinking man, the wisdom of the masculine energy. But on the same token, I truly am in love with the feminine's ability to feel and add color and beauty in the world and create beyond the visual, beyond what we see in the physical 3D world. So there's this beautiful harmony that people are awakening to right now. So you're being asked to flush out all the stuff that no longer serves you, but it's going to come through an experience. So if we can stop labeling things as good, bad, right, or wrong, and just appreciate and savor the journey, it lessens the impact and speeds up the recovery process. So what does the divine want you to know about your abundance? Positivity, faith, and optimism. So it says you open the doorway to positive experiences and opportunities with your positive expectations and energy. Do not allow negative energy or temporary setbacks to interfere with the path that you're on. Keep the faith and keep going. Ooh, just knocked the camera. Sorry about that. I am just so guided to the lion energy and the lamb energy and how they co-create together. So for me, I'm seeing the lamb energy as vulnerability of something to protect. So maybe the feminine. And then I see this lion energy, right? This lion that's a fierce protector, a king, right, of the pride. But then there's also an energy here that is being groomed in that space. And then you have the divine. So I feel like this message is saying right now you're harmonizing your own inner masculine, your inner feminine. You're embracing your vulnerability. If you're a masculine energy watching this, you're embracing your feelings and emotions, which I have to say, unfortunately, isn't widely supported, right? There's a vibration out there that men have to be a certain way. And if you're watching this and you're making the changes and you're tapping into feelings and emotions and you're being an incredible example of the thinking masculine, the protector on this planet, thank you. Thank you for showing up. We need more masculine energies exploring life purpose and showing up in the world with your gentleness, but your strength and your honor. It's so powerful. So keep going. Again, for masculine energies, this could be a soul journey. It could be a lonely process sometimes going into that space. Like, why am I sensitive? And unfortunately, what happens is the sensitive masculines who aren't taught how to access feelings and emotions and use that in their own power and tap into their own femininity, because maybe their own stuff with their feminine energy that's around them, what happens is you can fall trap to addiction and numb out. It could be video games, it could be TV, it could be movies, it could be actually substances. And so, I encourage you to ask yourself, like, what am I numbing out from? Like, what am I escaping from? Some masculine energies out there are vulnerable and you're sensitive, and so you can turn into like people pleasing and doing everything for everybody, right? For that reward, feeling good. Feminine energies, you're in a space of accessing feelings and emotions and knowing how to express that, being able to share how you're feeling. I feel hurt, I feel scared, I feel wronged, I feel tired, I feel like I need a vacation or a break, and being able to express that. You're in this place of being in tune with your feelings and feeling safe enough to be able to express that in the world. And so the angels are saying, come to us. And again, there's no coincidence that we see the divine here and the divine overseeing this energy as well. So one of the things I want to share too is for earth angels, it's very easy to fall into negative thinking, negative, like, woe's me, victim energy. Why me? Why does this keep happening? And it's just a program that you were taught that just dulls your light. And so one of the things I've been working with lately is the word pleasure. And when I start to go there to that watery, emotional, woe's me energy, and it's a constant for me, it's a constant that I have to be in tune and aware with my feelings and my emotions, I ask myself, what would bring me pleasure? What experiences could I have right now that would invoke the energy of pleasure within me? So now I'm trying to reprogram out of that comfort zone of fear and negativity and worry, and I'm expanding my light through the energy of pleasure. So maybe it's the air on my skin, maybe it's going out and really loving my dog on a deep level, or really loving my family, my experiences. Maybe sometimes it's just getting into bed, turning on the heated blanket and laying under my pile of blankets and just feeling comfortable and cozy, right? So I'm invoking this energy of pleasure, and in it I'm more aware of when I'm out of alignment with that. So again, the question, what path did the cosmos want you to follow? Divine guidance. It's a soul as in singular and soul as in higher journey. And I pray that these messages can support you and really validate that you're on your way, but you've got to do it yourself. You know, if you're in that codependent energy where you're doing everything for everybody, I ask yourself, what are you escaping from? What are you not wanting to face of your own? And that you're diving into other people's stuff, and where sometimes it creates resentment and bitterness, like, oh, they're the problem, they need me, but it's always a reflection of what's going on the inside. So positivity, faith, and optimism start there. Sometimes we're in such a negative space or in drama that we just don't even realize it, but we feel it. So I would encourage you to maybe go on, maybe for the next week or so, what do they want you to do? Connect with the angels, and then maybe listen to some positive affirmations on YouTube, some self-esteem, worth, and value, because that's where creative expression is going to come. You've got to feel good and empowered as an individual and not be validated by what people think of you, how many followers you have, how many people you're pleasing. You really have to step into that individual place, and then abundance comes from there because you'll be activated with creativity. Wow. That was quite the reading. All right, so for those of you who chose pile 1, talk to your angels, thank you so much for watching. If you have any suggestions or for pick a pile readings, or if you have any questions that I could do future readings on, I'm hoping to incorporate this type of stuff in my subscription program. I'm really just trying to, I don't really do anything until I know I can commit to it 1,000%. So I'm really just letting it all marinate, and I'll just know. I'm thinking April is when I'll launch it. So again, if you have any comments or you have any questions or anything that comes up, feel free to leave it in the comments below, and I will try to use those for future readings to support you. All right, so thank you so much for watching, Pile 1. All right, so for those of you who chose Pile 2, support. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh, damn. Okay, so for those of you who chose pile 2, artist. I just got the piles mixed up. So artist is number 2. So this is creativity. I'm seeing all orange energy, sacral chakra energy. And it says engaging in artistic activities is beneficial to your career and every other area of your life. So again, I think it's so funny how the divine answers a question with a question. You know, sometimes I say, we just want the answer, just tell me. But there's no fun in that, right? So, and this is where I feel like these readings that are coming out, because the question was, what path do the cosmos want you to follow? And, the intention was life purpose. Tell us what to do. And it sounds like through these readings, they're giving us a step-by-step process on how to get there. That it's the sweet reward is you coming into it on your own. Like that is the sweetness of it. The bitter part is it's a journey and it's an unknown and an unseen, and we've got to unpack things and we've got to heal things on that path. So know that if you've been guided to this reading and you're watching, you are well on your way. So the Artist card, I feel like the divine is encouraging you to add color into your life. So with the Artist, it could be coloring, it could be design. Maybe it's painting a room in your house. Maybe it's creating an altar. Maybe it is a blog or sharing information. Maybe it's putting something out there that you're creating. You could be a person of service, and it could be you creating different kinds of services that are unique and special to yourself. Like if you're a massage therapist, or you're an energy worker, or an intuitive, maybe the divine is encouraging you to create different kinds of product or services that are unique and special to what you know. And that can be something that will assist you on your path. I feel like this is an action pile. And so those of you who aren't sure yet, you can really get into the energy of creativity through play and laughter, through breath work, through yoga, through movement. Let me see here. I see the sacral chakra energy, the orange, going into... so I'm seeing Archangel Gabriel as well. Gabriel is the angel of communication. He's the angel of creative expression, creative projects. So there may be, especially with this Mercury retrograde that we're in right now, there may be things that you need to complete and get done, get off your plate. So I feel like I'm just getting a million messages all at once. So I'm just trying to sort where I want to go with it. I feel like those of you who chose pile 2, you may be deep in your masculine energy of action, of doing, have-tos and shoulds. I should do this, I should do that, I need to do this, I need to do that, I want to do this, and I want to do that. And the universe, I feel like, is saying, time out, pull back. And maybe over the weekend or at some point, do something fun, playful, something that allows you to laugh. You know what I'm also getting too? You know how kids on your phone, kids have apps that they can play where they can draw and color? Some of you may be parents. And I feel like some of you, of course, this is a general reading, so it's not for everybody. So I feel like some of you, and you're going to know if you have this, the angels are guiding to you. Angel Gabriel is guiding you to an iPad or something with like a pen, not a pen that you can write on, and you can doodle and draw. So this might be connected to a kid's video game. So maybe your kid does that, or maybe they paint, and they use their finger to make things. I feel like, let me know if the comments who this is resonating with. I feel like they're encouraging you to go into those things and play for a little bit and design and create something. Or I'm also getting some of you, go get your kids Play-Doh. And this is for masculine and feminine energies that are watching. Go get your kids Play-Doh, or sit down with your kid and have like a tea party, or something creative where you're building with blocks or Legos. Or I feel like the universe is saying it's time for a timeout. You need to play a little bit and create something. And in turn, that can invoke inspiration and raise your vibration to align with purpose, to align with passion, to align with more of what is in a vibration of who your essence, of who you truly are. Wow. So additional messages. Oh my gosh. Of course. Return to joy. Again, joy is orange. It's so funny because I had some I have an orange stone and I have another one on my desk, and I just felt guided I was going to do my weekly reading with orange stones. It's so interesting. It's coming out in this. Again, Angel Gabriel is orange or copper. So having copper around you, if you find pennies, I was telling a client yesterday about pennies, and then when I was leaving, I found a penny on the ground, and it just made me giggle. I'm like, of course, me too. And on a penny, it says, "In God we trust," right? So I feel like those of you who have been serious, who've been deep in your action steps and you're masculine, you may also be feeling pain. You may be feeling pain in your shoulder, in your right hip, in your right knee or your right foot. It's almost, sometimes it can be like lopsided. You may also be feeling that fire in your middle back. That is a place where we're getting bitter and resentful and angry, and it's not fun anymore. So return to joy. It says we are here to experience joy. So if you think about those people in the world who are creating mass wealth and having fun with it, there's something to that. There are musicians in the world who are creating music and they're putting out in the world, and it's invoking fun. I mean, I love, so here we are, February, March, we're on our way to St. Patrick's Day, and I love St. Patrick's Day because it's like it invokes play. There's music that inspires you, that makes you want to dance and get excited. So you think about music like that activates joy. So musicians in the world who are creating, the artists in the world who are creating artwork, works of art through color. It could even be spray painting. And so I feel like some of you, you're being asked to create in an unorthodox way. You may be a musician and you play with the notes in a different way. You may be an artist and maybe you use different forms of mediums to create art. Maybe you use fabrics that you put together to create art. So I feel like in turn, it's very joyful. The creative process is really fun. But what happens is sometimes we get caught up in the future, like how am I going to make money at this? Or I'm wasting time, like those programs where you're like, work has to be hard and difficult, hard work pays well and things like that. So some of you might have outdated beliefs to how play and laughter and pleasure can activate a passion within you. So the question was, what of your past life? What from your past life is affecting your path now? Leaving or travel? Whoa. Some of you may have to leave unhealthy situations. Some of you may be holding on to like those programs that only children play. It's silly. I'm not good enough to, create music or paint, draw, or it's silly, or I'll be made fun of. I'm also feeling some of you may be guided to take a Zumba class or a belly dance class, or like I said, some untraditional yoga practice or something. I feel like you're being asked to do something that is outside of the norm and get comfortable being uncomfortable. So some of you may need to leave. Maybe it's like a class that you've just been going to and going through the motions, but you're not feeling it anymore when you leave. Some of you may be called to go on travel. Maybe there's a place that's been calling you. It's funny because Texas was calling me like a few years before I actually went there. And then when I went there, I was like, oh my God, no wonder why it's been calling me. I feel like home here. So there might be a place where God planted seeds that you're being called. And if you're open and receptive, right, to joy and play and laughter, the money and things might fall into alignment for you to get there. Sometimes we need to experience different energies. It's really easy to fall into the comfort zone and not feel fulfilled, but it's what we know, so we stay there. So some of you may have died traveling in another life. Some of you may may have left a tribe, or maybe were banished from a group and now you're afraid to leave. So you could have past lives where you were cast out, and now you just stay where you're at because it's a sense of security, but you're feeling deeply unfulfilled. It's a feeling of like an abyss, like I have everything. I got this, I got that. It's in the material, but something's missing. This pile is speaking to maybe those of you who are feeling like something's missing in your life. It's as simple as allowing pleasure and joy. Whom in your life is an embodiment of joy? Maybe you reject that person, or maybe you don't want to be around them because they're too happy or they're too fun, or, like I said, you're all about business and it needs to be serious, right? Maybe you're on the road a lot. Maybe you're a traveler and you're stuck in that space, right? And it's time to make some shifts and make some changes. But before you take action, I feel like your guides are saying, get into this place of creativity and play. Sometimes just even wearing orange, orange will start showing up in your life. The 8 energy, I feel like the 8 and the infinity and abundance energy too is also in alignment with this laughter and play. It's a reminder that the creator is always working with you. Okay, so let me see here. What does your soul want you to know about your path? Health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. So for some of you, you're so deep in action that it is coming at the cost of your health. Remember I was talking about pain in your body, inflammation? So when you're angry or you're fired up or you're activated or you're in positions that you make money in where somebody's constantly telling you what to do, where to be, how much you're going to get paid, where you're at, a lot of times when you're on the spiritual journey, you outgrow those experiences. And so for some of you, your health might be taking a toll. Maybe you're not getting enough rest. Maybe you're not getting enough water. Maybe you're feeling the fire in your body, the inflammation. And when you feel fiery inside, right, when you feel angry, when you feel frustrated, what happens is then that will physically lead you to eat foods that are unhealthy for you. Processed foods, cheese, dairies, certain forms of dairies, sugar, processed sugar. Those are all things that can create even more intense levels of pain in your body, but people aren't aware of it. Some of you need to drink some more water. We're in the northern hemisphere here, so it's winter and the weather's been colder, but it's been warmer, so people are more active this time of year, but because it's still cool out, you're not aware of how much you're not drinking enough water. If you're getting headaches or you're feeling like dry, grab some water. Some of you may even have water right in front of you. Get a drink. And so part of this comes into your health. So when you're in action mode all the time, it's only a matter of time before your physical body is going to be affected by it. So if you're feeling the heaviness of life, you could be young, you could be like, man, I'm just too young to be feeling this way. It's time to make a change. Access joy, get into creative expression. Like I said, if you have the blessing of having young children, they will certainly show you how to access joy through watching a funny movie, or maybe some of you is going to a kids movie and just laughing and just allowing. You got to start somewhere, allowing yourself to be in the energy of laughter and play. Sometimes I love, one of the things I like to do is I like to go to the movies, and I go with myself often. And sometimes I'll just go pick a movie that's just funny or it's for kids, just to be in the playful energy. I remember a couple of years ago, I wanted to go to a Taylor Swift concert, and I wasn't a huge fan of her, but I was just so drawn to the magnetism of her followers and the people who love her music, and I ended up getting a ticket like last minute. She opened up a show, and I went by myself, and it was so incredible to be in that energy. So maybe something is coming up that you can surround yourself with a different vibration. It might be hard for you to get there, but you can surround yourself with people who are already in it. And then finally, a message about your abundance. Take a divinely guided change. Interesting. You see the kids here? I'm telling you, everything I've mentioned has eventually come out in the next card. So you have the children here, right? And they're like enamored by this. What is it? Oh, I see. They're enamored by the angels playing, right? I love it. Look at, you got the little cherub angels playing around them. The kids, I'm telling you. It says all positive change and successful ventures involve a degree of risk, and you're ready to follow your divine guidance to new territories. As you leave behind that which is comfortable and familiar, but no longer appropriate for you, you make room for new and meaningful opportunities. I mean, mic drop. That's it. That's basically everything I said in a nutshell. So this is a great starting point for you to get on purpose, to get more in alignment with your passion. So think about what in your life is going well and what lights you up, what you feel good about. That's what you're in alignment with. And then bring to mind the things that are the areas that you're still struggling with. So you may love your job, but you may still struggle in relationships, or you may have a really incredible marriage, but you're not feeling fulfilled in your job, or maybe it's your friendships. That's what uncomfortable area. That's where you're out of alignment, and that's what needs attention right now. And so the universe is saying, wait a minute, time out. Let's get into some play. Let's move up the emotional scale through joy and pleasure, and then eventually we'll get to align you with higher purpose and through wisdom of the heart. Wow. I love these readings. All right. So for those of you who chose pile 2, thank you so much for watching. If you have a topic or you have a pick a pile idea that you'd like me to do a reading on, leave it in the comments below. Let me know how this has resonated with you. You can share it and again, assist others with maybe it's an angel message, maybe it's a story and the way this spoke to you and then something happened to you after. I always love hearing those stories and how the divine continues to work after these readings. So you can leave that in the comments below. Of course, subscribe, share. There's going to be more to come on this channel. So thank you so much for watching. Okay, so for those of you who chose pile 3, welcome. Support. Your life purpose fully supports you. Well, it says, so the question was, what path do the cosmos want you to follow? And then what you get is, your life purpose fully supports you. Well, if you knew what that was, that's great. So let's give some more advice and guidance on that. So for some of you right here, I'm guided to this caduceus here. This is the healthcare symbol. You see it in a lot of people who are in healthcare, chiropractic, maybe it's physical therapy. So again, this could be, for some of you, chiropractic, physical therapy, holistic nursing. Some of you may be in those fields, but you're not feeling supported and you're not feeling like it's in alignment with you. Maybe you went through nursing school, or maybe you went through something and you're realizing, wait a minute, this isn't really what I want to do. Well, sometimes education and the degree and certificate will open doors and opportunities for you. So sometimes we have to go through experiences, and then through our expertise, we get to design our own gifts. So I feel like this, for some of you, you may be questioning the area of service that you're in, but yet you're in such a deep 3D world that you're feeling out of alignment. So know that the universe is supporting you. And some of you right now, of course, it's a general reading. Some of you may be asked to observe, and you're being called to enhance what you already know, but it will be in an unorthodox way, especially with chiropractic care, holistic nursing, nurse practitioners, nutritionists or dietitians, therapists. are being, there's a big movement of earth angels in those fields going deeper, adding in the spiritual realms, and it comes from you learning it for yourself first, learning about law of attraction, learning about spirituality, learning about faith, what creator and the universal support is for you. So some of you who chose support, you may be in a period of acquiring knowledge right now, but you're in jobs that may not be fulfilling you, and the universe is saying, hold on, we're supporting you, but it will require you to take a leap of faith and kind of go out on a limb. You know, when I started this work 12 years ago, it wasn't as quote unquote popular or trendy as it is now. So when I told people what I do, it would almost be like they would nod their head and their eyes would like glaze over. It was almost like they had no clue and they weren't ready for it. But I understand, 10 years of my journey was about acquiring information and learning. And so now here we are where more people are awakening, and I can access the knowledge and wisdom that I've acquired all these years that has now helped shape me as an individual and who I am as a spiritual advisor and intuitive, to be able to support others and really know what clientele I work well with. So this is happening to some of you. Maybe you're not feeling supported by your 3D environment, by your jobs, but you're in jobs of service. This is maybe teachers, nurses, social workers. And again, if this isn't resonating with you, maybe choose another pile. You may have a friend who might be going through this, that they may need to hear this, but I feel like this is where we're going with this reading, speaking to those who got into positions because you wanted to help others, because you wanted to care for, but yet you're not being fulfilled because it seems like a power loss, or you're not making the money that you thought you would. So you're there to acquire information, to like gather data. You're like, the divine is learning through you, through your experiences. So talk to God and tell him what's unfair, what's out of alignment, and then ask God to show you, to support you in how to create something different. Like I said, there's a lot of therapists and intuitives and healers that are awakening, that are using essential oils, that are using, let's say, aromatherapy, herbalism. Like I said, dietitians are creating new menus and recipes. So there's a lot of this happening right now, but it's going to require you trusting and having faith in your own hits or your own guidance. So additional messages here is willpower, of course. Improve your willpower to reduce your stress level. So willpower, let me see. Willpower, sometimes with earth angels, can make us feel like we're not doing enough and we're weak. So I feel like I would like to say routine and structure. Some of you may be feeling very uncertain about your career and the money you've invested and the expenses that you have. And so creating other forms of certainty in your life, maybe a routine, like when you eat, and having your water, and getting time to pray and meditate, and getting time out with friends, or if it's travel or getting away. I feel like some of you need to create a level of certainty because you have a lot of uncertainty in your life right now. Improve your willpower to reduce your stress level. Let me see here. I just feel like there's a deeper level of willpower, because I feel like that will access for some of you the feeling of not doing enough. Willpower. Hold on. Let me grab the book. I feel like there's more here. But so this willpower, it requires a level of discipline or certainty or consistency. And some of you may be all over the map. But I don't want you to look at that word and think you're doing something wrong. It's more that you have to do, and that you're not good enough and you don't have enough willpower. That's where my resistance is. But I'm struggling with how to explain it on a deeper level. So let's see here. Let's see. A life-changing moment has come to you in the fire of transformation and is calling you to say yes to love with your full will and conscious awareness. Interesting. So understanding you've maybe been in this field and saying yes to the unorthodox, the untraditional. Maybe it's working under somebody who's doing that. Maybe it's a mentorship. Maybe it's following people on social media who are doing what your heart is calling you to do. That can also give you and inspire you with the will and the power to keep moving and to create for yourself. Let me see. When your heart shines with courageous love, you will have the capacity to override unwanting thoughts, feelings, or impulses. I love that. When your heart shines with courageous love. I'm seeing Archangel Ariel coming in. So each reading I had a different angel come in. So Angel Ariel is coming in. Ariel's the angel of courage and bravery and strength. She's also the angel of balance. And she helps with opportunities and doors and experiences on our spiritual journey. So some of you maybe call on Archangel Ariel for assistance. Let's see. It says, by surrendering to love, you will have the willpower to resist short-term gratification in pursuit of long-term goals. I love it. So maybe you're having experiences in doing things. Maybe it's like you work so many hours to get so much money, but it's not, it's like short term. It's not where you want to stay. And so maybe some of you are feeling like it's only short term. I don't see myself staying here. But maybe then it's been like years and now you're feeling stuck. So I feel like that's where the universe is saying, trust us, we're guiding you, access new levels of love. Higher wisdom of the heart, new levels of love, and trust that you have our full support. So what in your past life might be blocking you, or not blocking, I don't want to use that word. What in your past life may be affecting you on your journey now? Greco-Roman. Interesting. So that could be a time period. Let's see here. That could be a time period for you. It could be. So I'm almost thinking too. So before I get into the book, I'm seeing Roman Catholicism. So for some of you, your religions might be religions might be affecting you, and how to move forward. Cultural beliefs. You may have been a nun, a monk, a priest, or something in another lifetime that you made vows and agreements that might be affecting you now to go out on a limb, unorthodox, or to find deeper levels of love through the divine. So that's just one thing that I'm getting. Sometimes I feel like the Roman, the Greeks, the energy of the culture way back when there was a lot of fighter energy, there was a lot of control and power. So when you think about willpower, which I think is the divine inspiring you, and then I think of 3D limiting power, and it might even feel like that in your work. It might even feel like you've got these outdated rules that you have to follow that are so out of alignment that are not helping people. So there's this tug of war, and it could be stemmed to a past life. So let me just get into what the book says here to get additional information. It says this card indicates that you have had a significant life in Greece or Rome that is influencing the situation you're inquiring about. Yeah, so that's exactly what I was talking about. It says you may have noticed that you're drawn to Greco-Roman architecture, culture, and spirituality. Perhaps you've even visited areas of the Mediterranean, which felt strangely familiar. I know a lot of people right now are being called out to Greece. For me, Greece is an embodiment of the goddess, of the feminine. Of course, it's on my bucket list. It's one of those places I would like to visit at some point. So some of you might be called out there, and maybe it's a healing of a past life. Maybe it's to access divine divine feminine energy in some way. Maybe not all of you have the financial means to hop on a plane and go to Greece, but maybe doing some research, looking at some pictures and really soaking in the energy. And like I said, I feel like there was a lot of power and control in those cultures. And so you may be in an environment right now that feels like this power and control. It could also be for those of you, oh my gosh, so a horn just beeped. And for me, horns mean get out of my way. So I feel like there may be some blocks and some limiting beliefs where the horn's beeping saying, hey, get out of my way for me to access higher wisdom of the heart, deeper levels of our power. So for some of you, I was going to say before the horn beeped, some of you may be wanting to get into intuitive, spiritual, or add in the intuitive and spiritual, right? But yet maybe you've come into a culture that demonizes it, or said it's bad, or says it's wrong, or says it's the devil's work, or something like that. Well, of course, because that's such an essence of power. That's such an essence of creation and growth and expansion. That energy, of course, wouldn't be able to control that. So I feel like some of you are being suppressed in your work environment. So you're not feeling in alignment with what you're supposed to be doing, but you're in an area of learning, and you're eventually going to take that information and be able to help people incorporating in spirituality, incorporating into faith, and being able to inspire people through the unorthodox. All right, so what your soul wants you to know: empathy. I'm open to seeing both sides of a situation. So this goes back to like power, right? Hold on a second. I gotta move my body here. So some of you may be maybe struggling with what you're seeing in the field that you're in, and you might be feeling powerless to it. So I feel like your soul is saying you're here to understand people and all aspects of how they're feeling, seeing both sides of a situation. So sometimes you can just ask God or the universe, the cosmos, the divine, ask them to show you what you need to know about a situation. Sometimes when I'm struggling with a characteristic, or I'm struggling with an experience that I keep having, I just say, what do I need to know about this? What am I learning from it? And I might not get an answer right away, and then something happens where I get like this aha moment. So I feel like the universe is reminding that you have support for higher wisdom, and you're going through challenging experiences right now because you're clearing out history, you're clearing out old beliefs, cultures, you're clearing out an energy of a vibration that holds on this planet, and you're expanding your light. So of course there's going to be resistance to it because really people don't like change. People like to be in the comfort zone, and this is why you have a lot of drama and meddling and gossip in like work environments, because there's a lot of people who have outgrown the job that they're in and that they need to expand, but they stay stuck because of the programming of this is where I have to stay, this is what I have to do. So for some of you, you might be getting to that space where you're outgrowing where you're at, and you're just getting caught up in gossip and drama and meddling. And so when you can kind of go within and start creating, when you can start calling on the divine and asking what their mission is for you, and know that it might not be ready yet. There might be some things that still needs to happen before you fall into that. So patience with the process is important. And then finally, about abundance. Interesting, donations, tithing, and charitable work. So giving. So some of you in these work environments can feel really drained and depleted. It can feel very low vibrational. So the idea of giving more could be a resistance. There could be resistance to it, like, oh, I don't have it. But you'd be amazed at how generously giving from overflow, or generously giving, even if it's just starting with $1, or even if it's paying for somebody in line, paying for their coffee behind you, or making small acts of generosity. Sometimes charitable work, you could be picking up garbage, or it could be picking up something, or getting something out of the way, or helping somebody, offering somebody a smile. Sometimes when we're in this low vibrational space, we keep attracting more of that low vibrational energy. So I feel like this card is coming out and saying you can be abundant and get back into generosity. It says give joyfully to the organizations and people who spiritually support and inspire you, and know that your generosity will be returned to you manyfold in miraculous ways. It says the time, supplies, money, or other resources you donate will ensure that your positive energy multiplies. Again, I want to bring up outdated religions, Roman, Greco-Roman energies, where they used money to abuse and keep people poor. So there is something to donating, sharing, giving money to an organization that inspires you. So when I go to church on Sundays, I offer a donation, but for me, I had to move past my religious upbringing that said you have to give this because it was a fear thing, like it's your duty and job. And now I look at it as I'm abundant and I'm giving from the overflow, and I'm so grateful to be able to add my energy, the gifts of wealth that God has offered me. Of course, I'm not a billionaire yet, but being able to really appreciate abundance in different ways. I love the energy of money because it gives me an opportunity to eat really good food or to feed somebody. I love money because it gives me an opportunity to have experiences, to put a roof over my head, to have an office that I love. It gives me an opportunity to put gas in my car to be able to go and have freedom. So I've really had to work through these outdated poverty vows that I took in other lifetimes, and being part of that religious upbringing. Again, it's not bad. It gets people to a point, but then at some point you outgrow it. And so I feel like they're saying with the abundance card is to get into what your belief systems are, what's outdated, and how can you view money and abundance in a different way. I started with always keeping gas in my car. There was a point when I was in lack in my life where I had lack of money in my bank account. I had lack of gas in my car. I didn't feel like I had enough clothes to wear, or I felt like I was always in this space of lack, low energy. And now I pull back and I'm like, God, I have so much energy and it feels so good. And, I've always got gas in my car now and I feel abundant. But yet, like I said, I'm not at the place where somebody would classify abundant, really. So by donating and tithing and sharing your time, maybe if you don't have money, give time. If you don't have time, give money. If you don't have money or time, give to yourself. But being able to change your perspective in abundance, being able to share allows you to be part of an energy. For me, I feel like feeding somebody is the ultimate act of caring and taking care of somebody. So I like to donate and share my money with people and organizations that feed people. I want to be part of energies that share with people and feed them and nourish them. Of course, as a feminine energy, I love to be nourished and cherished, and even to be taking out to dinner. I just think it's just such a beautiful, nourishing act. So I choose to make donations in that. I choose to make donations to my church. I love the work that I do. It's exciting. And in that, I feel like I become part of that energy. If there's an organization in the world that is doing amazing things, I want to be part of that. So by tithing and sharing money and being abundant in it and saying, God, thank you for this gift, or even asking God, where does He want you to put your time and energy? So that could be an action to start to get out of this funk that's draining you, right? You're draining, work's tiring, you're going home, you're stuck, right? And you don't feel like you have energy. This small act can start helping you access higher levels of love and kind of move you to different areas in your life, which will eventually lead you into things that will inspire you and uplift you on your path. All right, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Those of you who chose the support pile, if you have any ideas or questions, maybe you have an idea or pick a pile topic that you would like me to do a reading on, or if you have questions or comments, feel free to put them in the comment box below. And again, I can't thank you enough for watching. All right, so if you're following me or staying with me to this point, I'm going to close space. Let me thank all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, God, source, creator of the universe, and all his holy beings of light that assisted with his guidance for you today. And I'm going to ask that any healing that was started continue for as long as it needs to be done. And so it is. All right, friends, thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. It all helps me expand the energy to reach more people. I appreciate it. I love you so much. God loves you so much. Trust in the divine. Trust your intuition. And I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.